This newborn child was unusual from the start. After being reincarnated, he wanted to check his gender. The maid nearby saw what he was doing and thought he had wet the bed. Before he could react, she had already pulled down his pants. Cain, watching this happen, was stunned. To hide his embarrassment, he focused on eating instead. But when he finished his meal, the maid suddenly scooped him into her arms. Feeling her hold made Cain's heart race. He wanted to resist, but at only 2.5 years old, he was far too weak to fight back. Over time, thanks to their careful care, Cain began to understand more about this world. He had been born into a noble family. His father had 2 wives. One had given birth to 2 sons, and the other had given birth to Cain and his older sister. What fascinated Cain most, however, was not the family drama, but the world of swords and magic. Hoping to use magic as soon as possible, he spent just a few days learning to read. Even his parents thought he was a prodigy. Still, they believed magic study was far too early for him. He would have to wait until the age of 5, when he would receive his blessing at the church. Cain agreed outwardly, but inside, he was eager to start. Back in his room, he tried casting magic just for fun, and was shocked to produce real fire. Fortunately, the maid did not notice. Excited, he tried again, and this time nearly set the house on fire. The maid still saw nothing, but he did not realize his sister had entered the room. She had found out. Cain was scared at first, but then realized she only knew that he had been secretly studying things about the outside world. She asked if he wanted her to teach him. Cain was speechless, but grateful she was not particularly sharp. Over the next few weeks, she taught him about the country's history. When Cain learned there were other races in this world, he was thrilled. Years passed quickly, and soon Cain was old enough for the blessing. It was his first trip away from home, his first real look at the outside world. His sister wanted him to understand what receiving magic was like, so she opened her own status panel as a reference. One detail made Cain curious. It actually listed favorite person, Cain. Seeing her reaction, he decided to pretend he had not noticed. They arrived at the church, where 7 statues stood before him. These were the 7 pillar gods, each a real divine being. By praying, a person would receive a random blessing from one of them. But when the archbishop finished the prayer, all 7 statues began to glow at once. Before anyone could react, Cain found himself in the realm of the gods. The god of life, ruler of reincarnation, told him that he should not have died in his previous life. Cain had died saving someone from a criminal, only to be killed in the process. However, even if he had not intervened, the criminal would have tripped, been caught by bystanders, and gone to prison. By stepping in, Cain had not only died needlessly, but also unintentionally increased the criminal's sentence from 2 years to life in prison. Hearing this, Cain began to cry harder. The god of life comforted him, telling him that what he had done was still a good deed. The gods of earth had even asked them to reincarnate him into this new world. Although there was some regret, Cain thanked the gods for letting him keep the memories of his previous life. The 7 pillar gods admired his spirit, and each granted him a blessing. Some were playful and told him to try them out at home to see what they did. Cain could not stay in the divine realm forever, so they sent him back. When his father saw the statues glowing, he wanted to see Cain's status panel. One of the gods chuckled, making Cain feel something was off. He excused himself, went to a corner, and opened his panel. To his shock, all 7 of his attributes were at level 10, the maximum possible for any human. If his family saw this, they would be terrified. Luckily, the god of creation had given him a skill to hide his stats. He relaxed, but failed to hide some other numbers. Others saw that he had 7 blessings, and over 300,000 magic power. His father was shocked, knowing that even royal court magicians had only around 10,000, and Cain